What's going on, guys and gals? Stock Jock here. Up $427 in the first hour of trading. Kind of a whipsaw day for me. I was up quite a bit, then I lost it all. It was down, and then I got a nice trade to get it all back. So we'll get in the trades and get right to it. As you can see right here, I do have one swing trade up that I'm swinging in my Roth IRA account. It's GLMD. I'll probably hold that for no more than 30 days, but I'm thinking I can get over 15 pretty easily, so we'll see. But that's all I got going right now. Let's get into the trades. Okay, so this first trade, pretty simple setup. All it is a red to green move. Typically, all these pot plays or cannabis oil plays, they've sold off in the first couple minutes, and then the first candle over candle opportunity you get, it rips. And that's what it did this yesterday on like NBEV and a couple of the other cannabis beverage plays or whatever. And it ripped really nicely. And that's what I was kind of looking for on all these today. And the one I played first was LEVB, this one. Pretty low float, 9 million shares outstanding. And I went long right here. So we have the red to green move is all it is. So what I call the red to green move is when they're selling out of the open, you've got kind of this spring candle, right? So they drop down and comes right back up. And then the first time, so we're inside this candle here. The first time we go candle over candle right here, 659-ish, somewhere in here, I go long. I get filled, really good fill at 647. So don't know how I got that fill. But anyway, it pops up, and you'll watch the L2. It's trying to crack high day. When on the red to green move, you want this, when it happens, you want it to immediately shoot straight up, like a slingshot, wham, like that. What happens is it kind of just shoots up, comes down, shoots up, comes down, and that's not what you want. So it made me nervous. I was kind of letting it go a little bit. I was watching the L2. I was telling myself if 650 looked like it was going to break again, I would get out. It looked like it was going to break. I sold at 653, but it did eventually take off, as you can kind of see here. So I missed the move, but I was fearing a double top, and I did not want that. So, whatever. It didn't work out, but still made money.
High by 87.
Left B, red to green.
Ogen 48, 49.
I'm going to give it a shot at 647. Needs to go high day right now.
LEVB is interesting. CTXR. I'll take a starter of CTXR at 208. Long as some CTXR here, 208.
All right, I'm out 653. Lev B. So this next trade is like a confirmation play. I don't know. I haven't really come up with a name with it yet. It's kind of all right. So we have a pop here. So there's two things going on here that made me feel real comfortable for this next trade. So, I always teach pop, pullback, and then look for the candle over candle after the pullback. What I often like to see in this case is confirmation that it is not going to go down. And that happened right here. As you can kind of see, we had the pop. Here's a pullback. And when we get a candle under candle like we do here, see this candle breaks the low of this candle. So that's a candle under candle. What I like to see often, if I'm looking to play to the upside, is how much does it sell off when it eventually starts coming down on the first candle under candle? Does it completely poop itself and fall on its face, or does it just drop a little bit and maybe even come back up? And that's kind of what happened in this case, right? So this is the first time maybe shorts will get in, and the very fact that it only dropped 9 cents and then came right back, that tells me that shorts aren't getting into it, or sellers are not selling, and that maybe the next time we go candle over candle would be a great buying opportunity. And that's what happened. So we're inside this candle here, and I'm looking. I just saw that the first candle under candle didn't do anything. So now I'm like, okay, the first candle over candle, after the pullback. So these are two pullback candles. They don't make new highs like this. So we have our pop, pullback, and then I'm looking for first candle over candle right here. Boom. I get in at 698. We break that level, and it shoots up. And I'm kind of just watching the L2, seeing if the bids are still coming in, which they did, and then I'm watching time and sales to see if there's heavy selling coming in, and I was hoping they would break the 720 level and just keep ripping towards 750, going to a halt, whatever. It didn't happen. So as it started to come back down, I sold. I got a pretty good fill at 716. So it was a nice trade. It did, as you can see, sell off, but it eventually did go nutso after that. This is where I played it, but it did go nutso again and go up to 850 on the day. So anyway, good trade overall, and the confirmation right there was the candle under candle didn't work, also known as maybe a false break for a short. So the very fact that this didn't do anything told me that it's worthwhile to try the next candle over candle, which was right here. And you got two things going for you. You got the break of the whole dollar again, and you got the pullback candle over candle, and the very fact that the candle under candle here didn't do anything. So really three things going on telling you, hey, let's try the long side.
In a newsletter, that's CTXR Charlie Tango X-Ray Romeo.
Long Lev B,
Michael,
698.
on BTVT under 33. LEDB. Alright, added more here, 380. BTVT 34, 37, 38. 41, 43, 47. Still no halts, up 86%.
VTV Therapeutics reported earlier
Put
on
an
an
order on
8K
the
filing
ASIC
that on September
44.
27th,
got
company
filled.
exercised right to cause
My
investor
average is
to buy
119.
1.9 million shares at $1.33 per share under terms of
49,
2018 letter
50,
agreement. That's
55,
Victor Tango shares now moving.
up 90%.
Again, that
All right, I'm out.
news was out earlier in
716
the filing
Lev
from the
B.
company.
Okay, so this next trade on SYN is a news play. So when I got in this trade, it was on this candle here, and the first thing I looked at was, well, this thing has actually already moved. Like, my entry was at 291, so I heard the news when the stock was, at, oh gosh, what are you doing? There we go. When the stock price was at 291 already, and I looked and I said, well, this thing has obviously the news has been out for 2 minutes, because there's a nice volume spike here, and this thing again is already up 30 cents from that level. So my thought process is, well, I'm going to get in. If it breaks the whole dollar level, which is $3, I'll sell on the other side of that. Or if it just looks weak around 3, I'll sell. Or if it just starts to sell off, obviously I'll stop out. So I buy when I hear the news. I get in, it pops up, and I sell at 297 as it starts to look weak. It did end up breaking 3, but you can kind of see as soon as it broke 3, boom, right back down to 280. So like a 20-cent flush there. And the other thing that I did not want to really hold this stock for is, you can kind of see the daily chart. Past 2 days, it's had pops, and what did they do both days? This one went from $2.50 to $8, and in the same day, 100% retraced it. Same thing yesterday. Popped up, sold off, 100% retracement. Today, popped up, 100% retracement. So this is like a short's dream, and it's easy money whenever this thing pops up. It's just like, the track record is going to sell off. And if you kind of look back on the other times it's popped up, boom, sell off 100%, sell off 100%. So that's why it's important to look at the past on some of these stocks to see what their trend is and what they tend to do.
SYN, Sin Biologics awarded key U.S. patents. That's Sandy Yankee in November.
Long SYN on a patent play.
So 3 trades, 3 winners, $1,700.
292.
Profit. Alright, I'm sure that's
Out 297. It's already moved 40 cents, so I'm just doing a quick scalp on it.
So NBev, this one was a sympathy play. I got in at 925. Let's just draw a little area. Doodle. That's what I want. Okay, so I still want my crosshairs. Well, okay, no crosshairs. So I got in at 825. So right here is where I got in. Okay. Uh, that was my entry. That is a terrible doodle. All right, let's try that again. All right, so that's my entry. So what I'm looking for, this is a sympathy play. So what you don't see in the chart here is the fact that IGC at this time of day was just starting to go absolutely nutso. And we'll kind of take a look at IGC. I just doodled. I didn't mean to doodle. Okay, IGC, same time frame, just absolute going nutso, right? So, and at that moment, it jumped from 11:35 to 12:45, a dollar jump in 2 minutes. So while this was, starting to happen and IGC just going straight up, just absolutely rocking and rolling, I want to play NBev because this one also is known to rock and roll. And I thought it was prime and ready to go. Where is my entry? Too early. Okay, we're over here. Yeah. Okay, so we're right back here. So let's just kind of draw so we know what candle we're talking about. All right, that's the candle we're talking about. So another thing that you can kind of see here is we have a bit of a wedge being formed at this time in the morning. So this is the wedge that I was watching. And if you kind of just pull it back. So I'm kind of watching this and I'm saying, okay, here's support, here's resistance. We're starting to break out to the top side of this thing. And that's as it should because IGC sympathy play is going nutso right now. So I go long. We broke through the VWAP here and we kind of get a 1 minute pullback, and then I go candle over candle. I get in at 825 thinking that, if we break this level, candle over candle, break this high, this thing is also going to go nuts because it actually gapped down. It was very weak today, and I thought it was going to catch up to IGC. Like I said, IGC was going nuts. I think this is actually red on the day at this point. So it pops up, breaks this level, and then comes right back down really hard. And I'm like, okay, well, if we go candle under candle, meaning if we break this level right here, I'm stopping out because then we could probably break the VWAP and just get a flush. So I hold. Next candle opens up, pops right back up. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Nope, can't hold the level, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh. So this candle opens up here and flushes down. I'm telling myself, okay, well, this thing flushed down fast. If $8 breaks, I'm getting out. And sure enough, the next candle opens up, breaks $8. I sell at $7.95, and really disappointed in the trade. I really thought that if this 830 level broke, and it's like a triple top, there's 1, 2, 3. If it could break that level, it was going to go, and I think it probably would have, but it just couldn't do it. And volume was coming in. You'll watch the L2 when I pull it up. Volume was coming in. It had every chance, but the thing I kind of regret is just not getting out when it didn't do what I thought it was. This I would say is a bad trade. I let it go too far against me. I should have stopped out right here. I didn't. I should have gotten out when it couldn't have broken this 830 level. I didn't. All my morning's gains I gave up in this one trade. IGC just went high today, so watch NBev. They usually move together. I'm going to give it a shot. 826.
50.
So this next trade kind of boring. Again, this is a pot play. NBEV, IGC, whatever. So again, at this time of day, IGC is going nuts. I'm giving another sympathy play to a different stock. In this case, it was David's Tea, which is supposed to be looking into putting, I don't know, cannabis oil in their drink. I can't remember. It's a sham company, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, it's been moving because it is somehow related to whatever, something cannabis. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The stock was moving up with IGC starting to. And what I liked about this move here on the 1 minute, is right here. Okay. We're moving up. We go candle under candle, and it only drops 2 cents. So that tells me when I saw this pullback here, I'm looking, okay, I'm looking like this. I got in, what time was it? 55, sorry. All right, so I got inside here. So when I see this little pullback, of a high not being made, I'm like, okay, well, if we break this level, it might rock and roll and maybe test these two highs up here. So a little micro pullback, it dropped down and then came back up. And I was coming back up. I went long, 375 basically, pops up, and I'm like, okay, here we go. And what you see here is it popped up and started coming back down, and it didn't do, and this is what I should have done in my last trade, right? It didn't do what I thought it was going to do, so I need to get out. So as it's coming back down, I stop out, basically break even on the trade, and it was a smart decision. As you kind of see, it just fell off a cliff afterwards. So this was a good trade idea that didn't work, and my exit was perfect. So I still lost money on it, but I'm not mad about this trade. I mean, I might have lost $1. No, I was probably dead break even on this trade.
Ask 813. Watch it over 820 for possible halts. 820, 830.
Long 375.
If I think it's going to squeeze into a halt, then I might start kind of just adding things starters, but right now I'm not sure.
Stop loss is break even now.
We've got a high there of 24.
Good, they're saying a lot of stores aren't open Thanksgiving.
All right, out break even. So this trade's boring. If you want, fast forward this one. So anyway, there's no real good reason why I took this short on GE, besides the fact that all morning long it was falling off a cliff. And in this candle right here, it really started to pick up some steam to the downside. This is the candle I got short at 11.87. I was thinking, oh, this $12 level pretty much broke down pretty easily. It's going to keep going. It was picking up steam, and I got short 87, drops down to 77, and then pops right back up. And I did not like that move whatsoever. So when I saw that, I covered basically enough to cover commissions. So as you can kind of see, this was the bottom anyway, and then it started rolling back up. So it was a good decision to get out. And, a lot of times when a stock finds a bottom, it's on, huge volume on a big, steep dip like this. So you can kind of see this is where the bottom found itself, and then it moved up from there for the rest of the day.
AAPL, Apple at your intraday high, 228.80. Alpha Papa Lima.
short GE 1187.
MYL, Mylan, Michael Yankee Lima getting a pop on some call activity, January 40 calls.
VTVT. Yep. I'll take a starter on that at $1.50. Long VTVT. Target on that. is,
Covered 1186. I can't believe it popped all the way back up.
5.
So this is a quick lesson on how to lose $1,000 in 1 second. So I was trying to find the bottom on this SFIX. They had, their earnings report out. It was actually in line for what they forecasted. The market didn't like it. This thing just has fallen off a cliff, complete cliff. And tomorrow it's probably going to test the 200-day moving average. So I'll be looking to short this tomorrow if I can possibly get filled. So anyway, this thing, it tests this level down here. This, we'll call it 3175, right? Right through here. Yeah, line. That's what we want. Right through there. All right. You gotta remember, I'm looking at it like this. So I'm thinking, okay, it's tested it once, popped back up, went candle under candle right here. Didn't break this level. Didn't break this level. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go long. This thing is starting to get spiky to the upside. It's looking like it could go candle over candle, break this 32, and maybe get a rip back to the VWAP. I thought it was golden, and what happened is it didn't do that. In fact, it went candle under candle right here, and I was getting confident. I'm like, hey, we just went candle under candle, and it didn't flush out again, right? I'm like, oh, yes. And then in about 1 millisecond, it went from like 75 to 50 right there. Boom. It was like there's no numbers in between. There's like, it was stupid. I could not believe that the bottom fell out as hard as it did. And at this point of the day, it was short share restricted. Like it was harder for this thing to fall down. So anyway, as it flushed out, like I said, I went long at 31.94. I sold at 31.50. It was a nice, $950 loss, and that set me up great for the first 30 minutes.
Have to have a stop at break even on the rest.
I'm actually going to take what a terrible fill. Taking a starter of SFIX on the 100-day moving average.
JCI, Julia Charlie India, Johnson Controls.
Stop loss is low a day. If it goes low a day, I'm out.
Julia Charlie India. CSX, Charlie Sandy X-Ray. CSX announces new growth initiatives for Northwest Ohio Intermodal Terminal. That's Charlie Sandy X-Ray.
Watching the 1 minute micro pullback here on VTVT. High of the last 1 minute candle 64 with a high day of 68. So some traders might buy right there 64, 65 for the first candle to make a new high.
Looks like I'm going to stop out.
Stopped out the rest at 60. Doesn't seem like it's breaking.
Nope, didn't stop.
XCNT.
Now I did.
Anthem now covering reimbursement for Intersex
So this is a trade that I actually saw the idea in the, the one of the chat rooms I subscribed to, the Jason Bond picks chat room. One of the moderators in there, he took this trade, and I took a look at it, and I really liked it myself. OMER, as you can see yesterday, completely fell off a cliff, and this was kind of a VWAP test down to a whole dollar level, back to a VWAP test, and I'm thinking, okay, here we go. We're going to break this level here, and it's just going to collapse. And that's not what it did. So anyway, I went short right about, I think it was, yeah, right here at $15. I'm thinking, okay, it's hard to get in this short share restricted stock. I'm gonna go short, and I'm gonna have my stop loss somewhere in this range if it broke one of these two peaks. And that's exactly what it did. So as soon as I go short, it becomes a double bottom. So you can kind of see that right here. 1, 2, double bottom, and it starts popping up. It breaks the VWAP, and as it does that, I'm looking to cover at, as people take their profits on a pullback. I'm gonna cover. I'm not gonna hold thinking this is gonna come back down, because again, my trade idea was that this is going to continue on a downtrend. I don't want a pop making new highs over recent peaks, So that's telling me it's reversing, and I look to get out. So as soon as it kind of sold back off, I covered for a 10-cent loss on this, and it was the right decision because it did start to move up through here, and I would have felt terrible. However, I think it did finally break. Yeah, it finally broke this 15 level, and this would have been the entry, as the bounce here after 15 was real weak, and it did kind of sell off from there. But the thing was all over the place.
Sogen back at 84. Wow. 86. CLRB back down to 380.
So at this point in the day, I've done really well. I'm down almost $1,200, and all it took was this one trade on seed to bring me back to green. And this is kind of one that I took because it hit first. First, it hits my low float scanner right here, right? It's popping up pretty quick. Whoops, sorry, wrong screen. And when it hits my scanner, I immediately flip to it because it's a stock. It's in my trader Rolodex. I've traded before. I know it can move really fast. So it hits my scanners. I see that it's only moved 20 cents. It's basically doing an opening range breakout. It's just making new highs on the day. If I go long right here, and the domino is the fact that it's breaking new high, and then you have the 50-cent level right above it. So you have people that'll buy for new high, and you'll have people that buy for the 50-cent level, the $half-dollar level. So I go long. I get a great fill, 541, and then boom. This is when everybody else gets in. They shoot this thing up close to 6. It halts at 9 or 592, I believe, and it gets the halt. And I'll try to run this all together so you can kind of see it. Out of the halt, I sell immediately. Recently, stocks haven't done well out of halts. We haven't seen a stock recently to do 2, 3 back-to-back circuit breaker halts. They usually sell off out of the first one. So I was hoping for a gap up, which I got, and I sold as it came back down at 618 for a really, really nice win. Did end up going back up over 650 before the major sell-off happened, but nonetheless, it was a really nice win to get me back to green. SEED hitting the scanners. I'm actually going to take a start on this one. This one actually can run pretty fast. 542 for me.
Seed, you can keep an eye on. I'll take a starter on seed. 585. I'll take a starter on seed to see if it breaks over $6 because I did see there was news out on it this morning. So watch.
Probably gonna
seed
halt
go
here.
over 592. It's gonna get halted. So I'll be in seed for this halt.
There we go.
$6 or at 650 or on the first pullback. So watching here, there's 624. So watching 650 on seed.
Stop
Got my
loss
order
6 on
ready
seed
to
now.
add. Just added a 22 for the break over 650. Right? So there's that scalp.
I'm trying to get out.
Put out the order at 648.
There it is, 618.
Stop it.
Jeez.
Stop it, break even on the rest.
All right, so this next trade was a news play. Benzinga reports that some investment firm gave him like a $56 price target. The stock is at 960, so you can kind of see this is where the people heard the news and the volume came in. I went long when I heard that. I'm thinking, okay, this is a $56 price target or something in the 50s. It should move more than 10 cents, right? So it doesn't matter how good the news is. If the market doesn't believe it, it ain't gonna work. So this is one of those times. It did move, 15 cents, and this is when the news came out. I get long, 971. It moves 5 cents, and it starts slowing down. It can't even break VWAP. So I'm like, I'm getting out. I get out for a 4-cent win, and you kind of see it just sold off from there. So the market just does not believe the information on this stock, and it just sold off from there.
On the top.
PRTK, Papa Romeo Tango Kilo BTIG. Price target raised to $56 and C stand target of $30.
PRTK price target raised to $56. I'll go long to see if this thing moves.
That's an M&A price target lifted to $56
My gosh.
by BTIG on PRTK, Papa Romeo Tango Kilo.
I mean, the fact that it's only moved 8 cents, though.
Sold the rest at 21 on the bid. I can get back in if it doesn't work intro, but now this 5-minute candle's a red doji candle.
Stop loss break even on this. All right, I'm out. 75 plus 4. And that's how I ended the morning, up $427 after being down almost $1,200 to being back to green. It was a good feeling. I did finish the day up about $493, so I made a little bit more. But I do hate going that red and having to make it back. It's not a good feeling, especially after I was very green on the day. So anyway, if you have any questions on my trading style, leave a comment down below. I'll answer it there. Also, you can come in and ask me questions in my free Discord chat room. 100% free. Come on in. We created it for new traders and experienced traders alike. Come on in, especially if you have questions. There's plenty of people that want to help, including myself, and we're there to help you out. Other than that, all the links for all the chat rooms and news sources that I use are down below as well. feel free to check that out. All right, I'll see you in the next video.